Hey guys, happy holidays and thanks for watching my new candy video. And this is just going to be another tutorial on how I'm making my new edible batch. So as you can see, I got some new stuff to try out. I ordered some gummy bear molds on Amazon. They're silicone, and I got this set of 68 molds for, I think it was $8 or $9. So I'm going to carefully try that out. I don't know how well it's going to work because they're really tiny. But this time I'm going to be making the really hard candy. Because before I would always use part butter because I would try to have some of my medication sort of fused into the butter because it seems to work better that way. But the coconut oil has the right kind of fat in it, so it'll activate the THC in your body better. And I also found this new jello that's all natural. It's made with fruit juice, so I'm going to see how that tastes and try that out. And I just forgot to check. Oh good, it is 3 ounces. Okay, so before I actually had a sugar-free strawberry that I was going to use, but I realized it was 0.3 ounces because for some reason it's a lot lighter, so you want to make sure you don't get sugar-free. Or if you do, you might need, I don't know how that works, if you would need actually 3 ounces of the sugar-free or not. But if you wanted to cover up the taste of the coconut oil and stuff more, you just want to make sure it's 3 ounces. So I got a real candy thermometer. So it has the best kind you want is this kind. It has a clip on it, so I'm going to try to see if I can clip it onto my pan. I might have to use a different pan. I'll just have to mess with it in a minute, see if I can get it to stay on. Because the one thing you don't want to do is have to hold on to that like I did last time. While you're trying to mix the candy, it's really tricky. So I got, like I said, I'm going to use coconut oil this time instead of butter. And I'm going to use just that, and that makes it harder, and the butter makes it softer. So that's why all my other 2 batches were more chewy. And you also need corn syrup, and you need a 1/4 cup and a 1/2 cup measuring, and then you need sugar. And I was going to also say, if you don't have candy molds and you don't have, if you don't want to use a lot of powdered sugar to put in a pan like I did before, I think you can use parchment paper. This is something you want to have in your kitchen anytime you want to make edibles. It's really good to have on hand for cookies and brownies, and you can pretty much use anything on it that you're cooking and it won't stick. So what you can do is spread this out 1 sheet in like a flat cookie sheet, and just pour the melted candy in there and let it flatten out, and then you can just, once it's hardened and cooled, you can just break it into pieces. So that'll work in a pinch if you don't have anything else to use. And so this bowl I got is heat safe, so I can also use this when I'm decarbing. So that, speaking of that, this is the keif and really finely ground medication that I'm gonna use, and it's already been decarbed. So in case you haven't decarbed your medication yet, you want to use 2 to 3 grams of keif or hash, and if you're using just ground up weed, then you want 5 grams or more. And you want to, actually, if you're using ground up weed, you're going to have to make it into the coconut oil, which there's recipes for online to how to do that. I've never been able to do that. I was going to do that this time. I was going to use some of my ground up weed and make some coconut oil out of it, but I actually don't have I have a giant crock pot, which I never use because it's giant and I live by myself, which I wasn't going to try to use because I was only going to make like 1 cup or 2 of the coconut oil. So you'll need a small crock pot if you want to try making that, or there are recipes for stovetop. I just didn't want to try it, and I didn't have a whole lot of extra ground up weed this month, so I'm just going to use the 3.5 grams of mostly keif that I have in here. It's already been decarbed, and it just turns a lot darker when you decarb it. So that's normal. And if you do decarb it, if you're only using 5 grams or less of keif, or anything, you can use a toaster oven. And if you're using like more than 6 grams, I would put it in the regular oven. But this you can, I use this every time because I don't decarb that much. And you just set it on 240 for 30 to 40 minutes. And about halfway through, I would take it out, and I have the foil on mine for decarbing. And what you want to do is just take it out halfway and sort of scrape it up off the foil and mix it up a little bit so it doesn't burn on the bottom. And I don't think anybody else says that in their like tutorials, but I just do that to be safe, because it does get stuck to the foil a little bit. So I'm gonna just pause this and then come back once I have everything mixed up and ready to go. So I just want to mention too, I'm listening to the Hanson Christmas album, which is probably the cheesiest thing you can think of, but it's the only Christmas album that's kind of nostalgic for me, so I just picked it out as background music, and I'm kind of hoping it's not loud enough that they will flag this video, which it's probably not a big deal because this is my 3rd candy video anyway. But just so you know, I was like a major Hanson fan when I was younger, and I still have all their albums and crap, so it's like kind of embarrassing, but I'm still proud of having been fans of only them and not any of the other groups, because in my opinion, they at least played all these instruments and wrote their own music, and in my opinion, the other groups were just dancers. And so yeah, I'm not a big fan anymore. I just wanted to mention why I was a fan. But anyway, off topic. Hope you guys are having a good holiday, and I'll see you in a minute. Hey guys, welcome back. So as you can see, I measured out what I needed for the candy mixture, and I'm actually gonna just pour this in while I'm showing you. And this actually, when I opened it, smelled really, really strong of strawberries, so I guess that's a good thing. So you just pour this in a bowl. It's actually like multicolored powder. It's kind of cool. And then you just mix your dry herbs in there. And yeah, it's going to look dark in the candy. And it's going to look like there's pieces in it. Like, I mean, not pieces, but, you know, specks. And that's not a bad thing because you don't really taste them. And this smells really strong, so I don't think you're going to be able to taste them. And then you just mix that together really well, which actually takes a while because it's hard to mix it up. So I'll just do that in a second after I show you the rest. And then I use a 1/4 cup of the coconut oil, which, little heads up, if you're gonna be using, if you know you're gonna be using it, I would leave it sitting out until it softens, or I think you can actually leave it out. Don't quote me on that, but when it's in the refrigerator, it hardens and you need it to soften enough to put it in the cup. So I just microwaved the jar until the top of it was soft enough to scoop out. So it's probably not a good idea to do that every time. But if you're going to be making a larger batch, leaving the whole jar out to soften won't hurt it. And then I just have my 1/2 cup of corn syrup, and I actually got ready my molds. I washed them good, which you probably want to do if you order some. You don't want to use them without washing them. I put out a cookie sheet and then put the parchment paper over it to keep any candy that's probably going to spill off the sides, because these are really tiny molds. And just in case they don't turn out. You can see how detailed they are. I got these really detailed ones. I didn't know they were going to be this tiny, or I probably would have gotten a different kind, because I think that's going to be tricky to keep it inside the molds anyway. So I'll probably have a lot of extra pieces that don't go in the molds. And my candy thermometer, fits perfect on here. And I actually put the clip right at the part where I need it to go up to 275. So what you do is you turn it on low heat, like maybe mine goes warm and then low. So you turn it on low and then you pour in these ingredients, you pour in these two ingredients with the sugar, and you use a whisk, and this one's non-stick and also heat resistant, and I got this at Walmart for like $2 or something. So you can get a lot of this stuff at Walmart if you don't have it. And so you pour these two ingredients in when it's on low heat, and you stir it up until they all sort of mix together really well and everything melts together. And then you increase the heat until your temperature gets to 275, and you stir it up until it's sort of bubbling and looks like soft candy and it's bubbling. And then you reduce the heat just a little bit because you don't want it to get hard. And you have to sort of keep the heat at 275, and you don't want to go over that. And then you use your spoon that I got out, this spoon. I'm using a smaller one because my molds are small, but you can use a bigger one, it might be easier. And then you just scoop the candy out of the pot and drizzle it into the molds, and I think I'll be able to show you that part. I just can't show you while I'm mixing it together, so I'm just going to pause it again, and I'll be right back when I get to the next step, if I'm able to. Be right back. Okay guys, just to sort of correct myself, so you pour in on low heat, the sugar, the corn syrup, and the butter or coconut oil. And while it's on low heat, you probably leave the thermometer out for the moment. And you just mix this up until it's all melted, and then you bring it up to a higher temperature. And as soon as you do that, you do want to put this in and then start letting it get up to 275 to 285. I think I spilled a little drop, that's why it's smoking a little. It's okay. So the 265 to 270 is softer candy. Also, like I said, the coconut oil makes it harder, the butter makes it softer. So you want to, sorry, I gotta turn that on a minute. So this is a disaster. Yeah, there's just a little drop on there. Like I was saying, you want to stir it up until it starts boiling. You don't want it to go above 285. 285 is the hard candy. And then once it's boiling and it's starting to look like candy, which it's not right now, by the way, I have to put my phone back down, but then you reduce the temperature. You don't reduce the temperature. You pour in the Jello mixture first, make sure that's stirred up well, and then reduce the temperature. And then you just drizzle it into the molds really fast because it hardens really fast. So I'll put this down right away, and I will get back to you as soon as I'm done with that. Okay, so let's just say I don't know if this is going to be posted because I just got done ranting and throwing a hissy fit because that didn't work very well. So I think the problem was the Jello that was all natural and apparently made with strawberry juice or something, which I have no idea how that works with powder. But when I tried to make the candy this time and mix it up in the pot, I got to the stage where I mixed the Jello in really well, and then I was about to take it off the heat and pour it, and it just started like, it never mixed in fully. There was a lot of liquid that was not candy. It was just liquid. It was sitting on top, and I couldn't get it to mix together. And that didn't happen before, so the only difference this time was the Jello was all natural, and I used all coconut oil. Which before I used half coconut oil, and I didn't have liquid sitting on top. So I guess I would recommend, if you want to do this, to just not get the all-natural Jello, because as you can see, I ended up having to use this thing, which I got for the purpose of, I got this for the purpose of straining my weed so I could get the fine stuff out. And I'm not sure that's going to work now. I just got this today and I had to grab this because I didn't have any other temperature resistant strainers. And I was trying to get the water stuff out. And it didn't, I got a lot of it out, but as you can see, I lost probably a third of the batch to all this utensils and stuff. So I'm probably going to end up just trying to lick some of that off because I really don't want to waste all the medication. And the molds were really hard to get that in because it was hardening really fast. So if you're going to use molds, I would recommend getting the larger ones. I'm probably going to email Amazon and see if I can get a refund to get larger ones because these are not going to work. I tried using the spoon, and by the time I got the candy drizzled into some of them, like really slowly, it was hardened onto the spoon, and there was like just more on the spoon than I could get into the molds, and it wouldn't come off the spoon, and then I had to scrape it all back into the pot and melt it down again, so it was soft enough, and then I just poured it from the pot right into here, which is why it looks like this. And now I'm just gonna have to, I mean, it's just pretty much for me anyway, so it doesn't have to look nice. I'm just hoping I can break it up into pieces that I can manage to dose out and at least a little bit. So yeah, note to everybody, don't use tiny molds for candy. I mean, I don't know how the gummy candy works. It's probably softer. I don't know if it hardens as fast, so that might work for these. But that was really frustrating, and I'm hoping I can salvage a lot of this candy because I don't want to throw it away. So yeah, I haven't tasted it yet. I guess I'll just make a Snapchat maybe and let you know how it tastes. And it smells good. I mean, compared to the other ones, it smells like it doesn't smell worse or anything. It smells good and it smells fruity. And I think it's really dark. I mean, when I mixed the decarbed keif and stuff into it, it took a long time. What you want to do is use your spoon, use a dish like this, or even a more shallow, wider bowl would probably work better. And you just have to like press the spoon into the little chunks because the keif was in little chunks and I had to kind of break them up. And so it took a while. And that's probably, it didn't turn the jello really that much darker. So I think this is just darker from the all-natural jello. It wasn't really completely pink, or it wasn't really a bright color like the fake jello is. So anyway, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try some of this, and I'm gonna chill out. And my back's really messed up, so I want to apologize for not yet having the Goodwill haul video that I was posting about on my Twitter and on my Snapchat. I've been promoting that a little bit because I was going to do it yesterday and I just haven't gotten to yet. And I'm probably going to do it tomorrow because I'm going to be home tomorrow. So I'm going to really try to get that done. I haven't opened any of it yet, so it's still sitting in there by the couch waiting to be opened on video. So thanks you guys for watching, and sorry for the mess, and hopefully you'll have more luck than I did. Hope you guys are having a good holiday, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.